What if Deku was born with Ultra Instinct, Part 2. So, one of you guys said that I'm kind of doing both things, like where Deku was at the God of Destruction's planet, and stuff kind of how my other series, What If Deku was a God of Destruction, when really he's not going to become a God of Destruction at all. He just was trained by Whis and like the God of Destruction and stuff. So, you guys really enjoyed the last video with like 600 views right now, and I'm very happy about that. And we're 6 subscribers away by the time I'm making this from 500, so let's go ahead and hit that 500 goal halfway to 1,000. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So basically, Deku, like, he just saved Bakugo from the sludge villain, and he's like walking away, and like the heroes are like, you just used your quirk without a license. I'm gonna have to place you under arrest. Well, it's kind of like how I did it with the God of Destruction thing, and he's like, wow, that's kind of sad. Can't believe everyone forgot the boy that didn't have a quirk but had power. Well, I'm gonna go back to my mom's house now. And he just puts 2 fingers up to his head and just teleports right to his mom. He's like, yo. She's like, oh, Deku, you're back. Wow. And then she says, oh, you have 10 months to train for UA. And he's like, I can do 10 months of nothing because I'm by far the strongest person on this planet, maybe even solar system. So I should be fine. But I'm going to go, well, I'll see you in 10 months then, because I'm going to go live on a trash-filled beach. Bye. Like, he just leaves to go to Diego Beach, which, odd reference to Star Wars, but I give it to hand to the creator of My Hero Academia for the reference to Star Wars there, you know. But he just goes there and he just looks at the pile of trash, and like, have you guys ever seen like any pictures of like piles of trash built to look like a house or something? Well, like, basically he like stacks trash on top of each other. Like, he has a bunch of random stuff. Like, he took a fridge, like, cut out the back of it and then opens it up and walks through as like a door and stuff like that. Then he takes a microwave, cuts off he takes a microwave and like makes that as a window and stuff. Like, he just does these random things, and then he ends up having like a weird house, and like people pass by just to see him like building a house out of trash. And like he takes at least a month to build this. So when he's building it, he's just like sleeping in the outdoors. So if it's like raining, the best he can do is just hop into a dirty car and hope for the best. Like, that's like the best he can do. So once he finishes his house, he basically just stacks a bunch of cars on top of each other, and he just lifts his finger and like he's holding them, like spinning them around and stuff. He's like just playing with the cars, and then he ends up just throwing them into a dump. Like, what I'm gonna say, like, he just takes a bunch of trash and just starts throwing it, and like people are like, that's gonna hit the city, but it just keeps going and going into like a dump. Like, he's just that good at that stuff. And basically 10 months pass, and now it's time for the UA entrance exam, and he basically just, so it's time for the UA entrance exam, right? So he goes to UA, and he's just sitting there, and he's just walking, and then he trips on a rock, and he's like, huh, as he puts his hands up and like flips. And when he flips, he actually sees a girl reaching out to like touch him, and he's like, huh, I think that girl might have a quirk that lets her that like lets her maybe like lets her do like anti-gravity or something, maybe. Like he's just thinking this. So he walks in and the written exam is like a breeze for him, and so he gets like 120% on this because he basically he corrected mistakes on the written exam, which I'm just gonna say Desu put there to see if anybody could spot them, like as extra credit. So he ends up doing that, and since he ends up doing this, he just walks away. And he's just walking away. Or he walks to go sit down. And President Mike's explaining it as this guy, as a blue-haired boy just raises his hand and is like, oh, well, there's 4 robots and you've only explained 3. I find that very, very unhonorable if you, like, if this was a mistake. It's very sad coming from the most prestigious hero school in all of Japan. And then he points to Deku and he's like, you there, stop, you there. Or I actually can't think of something. He's like, you there, stop messing around. If you're here to mess around, I suggest you leave. And then he stands up and says, oh yeah, you suggest I leave? You're the one who's interrupted everyone, and even President Mike. If you think you could just get away with that, I suggest you leave, because this is a hero school, not somebody who just stands up and talks their mind. And like Ida just sits down, kind of like mumbling, like stupid little So President Mike's like, thank you, and then he explains that it's a 0-pointer robot, and basically it's a 0-pointer robot. It's 0 points. It's not worth anything. So Deku just walks out there and he sees a girl that's really nervous, and she's the same girl that reached out to try and save him. So he walks up to her, and Ida's about to put a hand on him, but before he can, Deku he does a front flip, turns around, and gets to do a battle stance, and he's like, what the heck? What'd you just do? And he's like, you tried to touch me, so I moved so you didn't. You could have hurt me. Like, and Ida's like, cheese. He's like, well, I suggest you don't go over to her. I think she's trying to focus. He's like, yeah, she is, but she's nervous. So he goes over there with like Ida's trying to stop him, and he's just like, I suggest you calm down. And like, so like basically he just suggests you calm down. Oh, I'm gonna switch something. The girl that tried to catch him, not like tried to touch him, so Uraraka was watching, but she didn't try and catch him, basically. It was actually a black-haired girl with a ponytail. I saw like 5 comments for Deku X Momo. So if you guys don't want that, tell me, but it's happening right now. So basically, he's like, I suggest you calm down. Are you nervous? And she's just like, yeah, I could have gotten in with a recommendation, but I wanted to prove to my parents that I don't need their money. And Deku's like, okay. Sorry guys, I'm kind of sick. But he's like, okay, best of luck to you. As he just walks away as President Mike says go. As he basically just jumps off, destroying a bunch of robots. He's like, oh, this should be a piece of cake. As he's just like, if you guys have seen Dragon Ball Super and you've watched like Hit, how he can punch and like send a shockwave so strong that it can hit you without him touching you. Like, I think Goku can also do it, but like Deku does that multiple times over, and like it just goes and destroys a bunch of robots. And I'm just gonna say he has 940 points right now, just because he has like 940 points from him with just 2 punches of a fist. He's like, well, that was exciting. It's been 10 seconds and I've already have almost 1,000. Well, I would go up to the teachers now. And he just instant transmissions and just sits right next to like Mr. Aizawa, and like none of the teachers even noticed him or cared. And like Mr. Aizawa just turns and he's like, wait, who are you? And he's like, oh, finally somebody noticed me. It's been 20 minutes. And they're like, what the heck? You've been sitting up here for 20 minutes? And like all the teachers just turn to see this random freaking kid with white hair just sitting there. He's like, yeah, I kind of been sitting here for 20 minutes. It took you guys that long to notice me. And they're all just like kind of shocked. And then one of them says, hey, you're that guy with 940 points. You got that in the first 10 seconds. Why aren't you trying to get more robots? And he's like, well, I already know I got the best. Nobody can top that, so it doesn't really matter. And then Nezu's like flips open something and he's like, time to reveal the big finale, as he like just pushes a button and a massive 0-pointer comes out. And he's like, well, I'm gonna go do this now since everyone's gonna run away, as he instant transmissions. Like, he just puts his fingers up to his head and just instant transmissions, and all the people are like, what the heck could this kid's quirk be? How can he be this strong but also like teleport? So they're just wondering what his quirk could be. So he just keeps moving. He basically sees a bunch of people running from the 0-pointer, and he's like, why are you guys such cowards? If you're gonna be in a hero school, you shouldn't be running away from something like this. As he just walks up to it and stares it in the eye, and then he hears a scream. So he instant transmissions right to the scream, grabs her by the hand, and instant transmissions and puts Momo on a building, and he's like, you're welcome. And she's like, oh, thank you for saving me. And then the 0-pointer is about to punch the building, and he blocks it with his hand, and he's like, I don't think so. I might actually have to use 1% of my power for this. I might actually have to use 0.100th of my power, which is 0.01, by the way, percent of my power. So like the 0-pointer just keeps punching him and punching him and punching him, and then it starts sending missiles, which he just flicks away. And like all the heroes are just like, what's wrong with the 0-pointer? It shouldn't be doing this. It's like, it's gonna kill that kid. And then Mr. Aizawa said, let it play out. I want to see this. And like everyone's like, you idiot, he's gonna die. So the 0-pointer, like its head, it opens up to reveal a massive cannon. So it starts charging up a massive blast. It looks like a purple key blast, but it's not key at all. So it starts charging up a massive key blast, and it just sends it flying there. But before it could, Deku starts saying a word. He starts just saying Kame, Hame, as the robot sends the key blast down, and it's about to hit him, but instead he jumps over it, takes the key blast, and glides over the key blast with his Kamehameha wave, and then he gets right over the robot and he says, ah! Just destroying the entire robot. And everyone in the freaking lounge watching, it's like, holy crap, what the heck was that? How did he just destroy that? Because like the robot's completely incinerated, and he's like, hi, I did it, right? So that's where I'm gonna leave it off, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. What if Deku was born with Ultra Instinct Part 2? See ya, guys. Bye.